South Africa's premier wine guide has a new publisher. We say cheers to that and find out what the big plans are. We'll show you an ad with a famous action movie star that has the world talking. We prefer the spoof version though. And we'll go behind the scenes of a major British retail store ad and how the Christmas spirit has been captured. A very warm welcome to Mags on Media. Let's start this week with advertising and how a major UK award show is trying to go global. Former agency man Tim Lindsay has been tasked with elevating the D&AD Awards, and he was in South Africa to preach the gospel. In a wide-ranging conversation, we touched on why the famous yellow and black pencil prizes are so hard to come by.
They are rare and highly prized as a consequence, and they are genuinely harder to win, you know, in percentage terms than awards at some other shows. We have about 200 jurors judging 24, 25 categories every year, and I think what makes us different, probably one of the things that makes us different, is the sort of integrity and rigour of that judging process. And there's absolutely no requirement, no obligation to give a pencil in any category.
Often the criticism about award shows, and I guess applying to yours as well, is that agencies are just obsessed with them, to the detriment perhaps of good brand work. Is that true or is that unfair?
There are some big issues that genuinely affect the business around awards. Our belief is very simply that the good stuff works better than the bad stuff. It's more effective, it has better economic and other outcomes. And we see it as our job to stimulate it. And there's a line that's been used throughout D&AD's 50-year history, which is stimulation, not congratulation. It is about pushing people to do better work.
You said this a while back, the very best creative work generated today is tomorrow's benchmark. Do you remember that?
No. I think someone may have written that for me.
What does that mean?
I think the best work, to sort of elaborate on that slightly convoluted thought.
Philosophical.
Yes. Yeah. I think the best work does push the boundaries. I don't think, you know, truly original work is just that. It's truly original. It does, you know, break molds, push boundaries, go to places where, you know, people haven't gone before. And I think very often the best work is kind of new ways of looking at, perhaps not always new things, but, you know, a new perspective. And certainly, so our criteria at D&AD for great work: is it a great idea? Is it beautifully executed? Is it relevant to its context? And I think our jurors are looking for truly original and groundbreaking work. I think.
Let's talk a little bit about the education. Creative talent in the UK and worldwide. Is it in short supply?
I think there are lots of very talented people emerging from kind of arts and, in general, creative education around the world.
And they've got to be shown the way.
They have to be shown the way, and they have to be properly prepared for life in a design studio or an advertising agency. We have a thing called the New Blood Programme. It has many components, and perhaps the key ones are a student awards show, which is very prestigious, so we give, patronisingly, slightly smaller pencils to students. They're a guarantee of a job, pretty much. And we run a thing called Graduate Academy, which takes those pencil winners and puts them through a 2-week boot camp, which is very intensive, which gives them lots of exposure to advertising professionals. They do a pitch at the end of it. This year it's sponsored by Diageo, in fact, and they emerge from that clearer about what the requirements on them are going to be once they start working in an agency.
And once they start working in an agency, you contend that they've got to be treated fairly. This is what you said. Unpaid placements are an abhorrent abuse of a desperation by graduates to get into the industry. Agencies that do that are beyond the pale. You're very against this abuse. Is it very widespread?
I did say that, and I absolutely stand by that. Speaking of the UK market here, which is the one I know best, but this definitely happens elsewhere, the placement system is being abused. So teams often spend a year, 2 years, trudging around agencies, you know, giving their best work up, not being paid, and it's become a system that is exploited by unscrupulous agencies. And D&AD believe, along with lots of other people, not just us, raising this flag, think that that is exploitative. If you're doing work that adds value in any agency, then you should be paid for it.
Fair point. So how do you stop the exploitation?
We campaign for proper internships and proper placements. And all the people who emerge from our graduate academy, I say all, very nearly all, it's not 100% guaranteed, get proper paid internships from scrupulous and responsible ad agencies.
Should agencies that abuse the system be named and shamed, called out, sanctioned?
I actually think they should, yeah.
Let's just, in conclusion, reflect, if we can, on the creative economy worldwide. Clients, and I think you've said this in the past, there's sometimes a lack of understanding of the importance of creativity in business and what it can do for the bottom line.
Absolutely.
Is that message starting to be rammed home that if you have a creative bent within an organisation, you will be more successful? To boot Coca-Cola this year at the Cannes Lions as the creative marketer of the year.
Yeah.
They've infused creativity into every single aspect of their business. They are a successful brand, therefore. You would concur with all of that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, and I couldn't put it any better than you just put it. I think you can't really generalise. I think what's also happened, interestingly, as well as sort of enlightened marketing organisations waking up to this notion that actually creativity is a very important component of what they're trying to achieve. I think also the big networks and holding companies have also placed more emphasis on it in the last, I don't know how long, 4 or 5 years. Yeah. And I have to say, Cannes has played a role in this. Cannes are a competitor, but we admire a lot of what they do. They've been very smart in getting clients involved in their festival, and it's had a really material impact on the major networks, who have made it an important part of their mission now to win awards because of the recognition it brings and because of the kind of client admiration it engenders. So I really haven't put that very well, but I absolutely think creativity is a very current currency.
Now, we've said this many times before, the 777 for any marketer is to make an ad that goes viral. The secret ingredient, it seems, is to find an action movie star. Well, more than 40 million people have watched the Muscles from Brussels doing his signature split with 2 Volvo trucks moving in reverse on a highway. Within a week of its release, the video was watched by over 25 million people, becoming the most viewed online clip that week and spawning 50 related videos. Now, the epic split ad also resulted in some amazing spoofs, which just helps the brand message spread even further. Here's actor Channing Tatum's response.
I've had my ups and downs. Being an undercover cop, that's what made me what I am today. Surviving high school is no easy task. Neither is being a college freshman at my age. But because of this, my body is now engineered to defy the laws of physics and the mindset to master the most epic of splits.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time? And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows, only time?
This is Mags on Media. Coming up, how British retailers are trying to outdo each other with their holiday ads. And who walked away with the honour of the agency's Ad Agency of the Year. Details coming up in a moment.
News that moves. ENCA.com.